Geriatric1927, Peter and I just finished recording a conversation about work, and it was, as always, a lot of fun talking to Peter. It's fun talking to Peter about anything. It was a lot of fun talking to him about work, and this is part one of that conversation. Originally we were going to talk about what it's like to really meet YouTubers in the flesh, and we'll do that another time. Peter, of course, had visitors to his home, and I was at the 777 gathering, but somehow or other it just felt like it would be kind of fun to talk about work today, so we did, and I hope you enjoyed part one and look forward to hearing your thoughts. Keep an eye out for part two. Thanks a lot. See you soon. Bye. So Peter, this is the second in our series of a couple of old guys on YouTube talking about whatever it is that we want to talk about that day. We had prepared to have that conversation, but I wonder if we couldn't maybe save that just a little bit and have a conversation a little bit today about work, which doesn't sound like it's going to be as much fun, so maybe we'll scrap it. But
I just love a guy who throws in a new subject without any sort of preamble to really put Grandad on the spot. But, go on, I volunteered for it, so I'm happy to do that. Ask me the question.
I know I can count on you to be there on the spot for whatever's going to happen. Excuse me. So the question that I had was about work. People who followed your videos know that you had a motorcycle shop, but maybe you could talk a little more about your work, about the work you did over the course of your life.
Well, I'd have to be very brief. I followed a career, I think possibly to satisfy my parents, who I knew had to spend quite a bit of money for keeping me at school to get my qualifications. My father was a butcher, and his advice was that I should go into a profession where I would have a higher salary and possibly a motor car, and I followed his advice, and I became a public health inspector, which was quite a long training, and followed that career for a number of years. But I have told the story before, really, that my whole passion in life was motorcycles, and the time came when I decided that I would follow my dreams and go into the world of motorcycling.
Yeah, the idea of excuse me, the idea of taking following a path that is going to be secure and is likely to give you a solid career for all of your life, I think is something that was very prevalent certainly in your generation's days, and in mine as well.
Yes, indeed.
My parents were also working class people, and the idea, they wanted me to be a lawyer because, first of all, I could talk a lot, which they thought automatically meant, being a lawyer. If you could talk, you should be a lawyer.
Right.
The idea of being a lawyer, when I found out what lawyers really did, nauseated me. Not because lawyers can't do interesting things, but I just didn't want to do the things that lawyers did. And so I tried to find something myself that was going to be a passion for me. But today, it's very difficult to know what would even be secure.
Exactly. I think that's the whole point. I do have great compassion for young people these days, because in my day, whatever you did in life, you had an increase in wage up till the age of 21, which you knew then was going to be the highest you were ever going to get, and you had a job for life, and you cut your cloth according to your purse as a result. But today people's jobs are not secure, and it must be very difficult for people who've studied hard and gone into some profession to know that their life could be forced to change, not by their own desires.
I think we have to, that young people today have to expect that their lives are going to change, that their work is going to change. I think there are statistics that say, back in our generation's early days, people could, as you say, have one job forever, and they might change jobs a couple of times over the course of their lives. Certainly changing careers like you did was an unusual thing, not just changing jobs, but changing employers, but changing careers was a very unusual thing.
Well, yes, it was very much of a gamble, but I've never been a slave to money or possessions, and they didn't seem very important to me. The fact that I'd got a salary which was twice everybody else's wasn't terribly important, because I hated the job and I loved motorcycles, and I gave up that job and went to be a motorcycle mechanic. With a firm with whom I've been friendly for many years, having been involved in the sport of motorcycling. And bless his heart, the boss of the firm, it took me probably about a whole year to get him to give me a job, because his advice was all against it. He reminded me what a safe job I had got, and what prospects I'd got ahead, and he thought I would be very silly, but bless his heart, he gave in eventually, and I worked as a mechanic for probably a third of the wage I got before, but of course was very happy in my work.
The best things in life are free.